What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions video of the Nokia 1.3. So let's get started. So this is the Nokia 1.3. A brand new budget phone from Nokia. And in fact, you can pick this up right now for just $99. Now take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing, because it is possible that maybe in the future, the price will go down. But without a doubt, even at 99 bucks, this phone is certainly very inexpensive and very affordable. Now here is the box that it does come in. Now I did already take the phone out of the box and set everything up, but I did put everything back for the sake of showing you. But you can see on the front, Nokia 1.3. Then on the back, we have some of the specification highlights with the phone. But let's open up the box and see what all we get. So the first item, of course, is the phone itself. We'll put that off to the side for a second here. Then opening up the box further, we have a couple of different things. We have a 5-watt wall adapter. We have a micro USB cable for charging and data transfer. So yes, unfortunately, this phone is micro USB, but I will give this one a free pass because it is so inexpensive. We have a product and safety info card, and we have a get started guide. So that's everything that we get here in the box with the phone. Another thing that I almost forgot to mention is that you'll find the battery for the phone in the box as well, but I did already install that into the device. And by the way, to let you know, when you do end up installing the battery, to get this back cover off, there is no specific place to grab onto. You just have to kind of wedge your fingernail between the front panel and back cover. It's not really that easy to do, but you will eventually get the back cover off. So I just want to let you know about that. So here is the Nokia 1.3. Now, like I said a second ago, you can get this phone for $99, and it is factory unlocked for GSM carriers. Now, Nokia advertises it as working for AT&T and T-Mobile, as well as the other various carriers under those. However, on the product listing, they do not mention that the phone does work with Verizon. I know, though, that many people have had luck using GSM-only phones on Verizon's network, but based off of the product listing, they do not advertise that. Now, the device features a pretty large display, considering the price, at 5.71 inches. The display itself is IPS LCD at 720p. We're getting a PPI here of 295. We're getting a 19:9 aspect ratio and a 77.6% screen to body ratio. Now, you can also see up top here, we do have a water drop notch. We also have a little bit of a thicker bottom bezel with the Nokia logo there. But in general, I think that the display we're getting with this device and the overall form factor and design is certainly impressive considering the low price tag of this phone. It will certainly be interesting as well to see if the phone does eventually make its way over to various carriers as a locked carrier device. I have no idea if that's going to happen, but I could see it happen. I do like, though, that Nokia is offering this unlocked right away, though. Now, up top here in the notch, we have a 5-megapixel front-facing camera. The device itself features 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which you can expand with a micro SD card. There is no wireless charging with the phone, as you can imagine. There is also no fingerprint sensor to be found, but we do get Face Unlock with the phone. Now, I set up Face Unlock, but for some reason, I don't know if I just didn't do a good job or what, but it doesn't really seem to be working for me so far. So I'm definitely gonna have to give that a try and maybe rescan my face again for the full review video. So definitely stay tuned for that video, as I'll give you an update about the Face Unlock experience. But as of right now, for me at least, it seems like the most reliable way to get into the phone is by using the PIN code. Now, there's no portrait mode with either the front or rear camera with the phone. And here's how things look through the viewfinder. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to go out and fully test out this camera, but from the looks of it so far, of course, nothing too fancy here or too great. But on the other hand, it does seem a bit better than I was expecting. Another cool feature too is that you can see up top here, it does list how many photos you can take before you fill up all of the storage space on the phone. Now, the device features 1 gigabyte of RAM, and it's been a little while since I've had a phone with that little of RAM. And the phone features the Qualcomm QM215 processor. Now, that is a brand new processor from Qualcomm to my understanding. This is definitely the first phone that I've ever used with that processor. And from what I've researched, They created that processor to rival MediaTek. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. But certainly it probably is one of the lowest end processors they have. But from using the phone for about 45 minutes prior to recording this video, I'm actually pretty impressed with the real world performance. It does seem to perform a bit better than even some of the lower end Qualcomm 400 series processors. So hopefully as I continue to use it more, I will continue to be impressed by it, but so far it's not quite as bad as it appears. Now the phone features 720p as the maximum video recording resolution. That is certainly a limitation that is derived from the processor with the phone. Now the device features a removable battery, as I mentioned a little bit ago, and it is a 3000 milliamp hour battery. So that's nice that it is removable. I'm not sure how easy or hard it is to find replacements, but you have multiple options by having a removable battery. You know, back in the good old days, we used to have removable batteries with every smartphone. But now it seems like very low-end devices like this one from Nokia are pretty much the last options left with a removable battery. LG, if you're watching this, you should create a flagship with a removable battery if you really want to stand out from the competition. Just saying. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. But we do have a removable battery, so that's good in two ways. Of course, you can buy multiple batteries so that you can swap them out as you go through your day. But another thing too is that after a while, if you notice that the battery seems to not be holding a charge as well, then you can easily upgrade the battery on your own. You don't have to send it off somewhere, if that's even a service that Nokia offers, I'm not even sure. But the point is that it's very easy to have a nice, fresh, new battery in this phone since it does feature a removable battery. Now the software on here is Android 10, but it's Android 10 Go Edition, which in this situation, I actually think that's a pretty good thing. Now you can see that pre-installed, we have all the various Google goodies, but they are the Go editions of those various apps. Like for example, we have Assistant Go, Gallery Go, Camera Go. We also have Maps Go, Google Go, YouTube, that doesn't look like the Go edition, but we have the YouTube app, Gmail Go, all that good stuff. And there's also a lot of third-party Lite and Go Edition apps available as well. And of course, you're not limited to just Go apps. You can install any app in the Google Play Store. So I already installed a bunch of different apps that I use quite often, and I intend on testing those out as I get ready to create my actual review of the phone. Now, one of the limitations that I noticed that's pretty interesting, and it is a limitation of the launcher on the phone, not the phone itself, because you can, of course, go to the Google Play Store and install any launcher. But with the default launcher with the Nokia 1.3, they don't give you the ability to create another page of apps. You're pretty much just stuck with this one page right here. Now, I don't think that's a huge problem, and of course, since you have the ability to go ahead and download your own launcher, it's certainly not a deal breaker, but that's kind of strange. I'm sure it has something to do with this being Go Edition because they want this to run as smoothly as possible, but that's kind of an interesting quirk with this phone. Another thing too is that this does feature Android One. So if you're not aware of what Android One is, it's essentially a near stock variant of Android created by Google that is meant to receive updates a lot faster and easier. So that's really cool as well. It's almost like we're getting a $100 Pixel phone in this situation. Now there's no NFC with this phone as you'd imagine, and we do have micro USB on the bottom. Now I did see that some other content creators out there were giving this phone a thumbs down due to it having micro USB, and I totally agree. However, I would not expect to get anything other than micro USB with this phone. And considering the price of the device, I really can't fault Nokia for giving us micro USB. Now there's also no NFC with the device, another thing that I was expecting it not to have. But one of the nice things about the phone is how bright the display is. So I do have the brightness turned up to 100%, but it does look very bright. And of course, since it is 720p, which is, decent for a phone in this price range, things do look nice and clear as well. So really the biggest limitation is performance. Now speaking of that, I did run a benchmark test, and this phone got one of the lowest scores that I've ever seen with a benchmark test. In fact, I think this score might be a little bit lower than it should be because it seems like the GPU didn't register at all. So that must have something to do with that Qualcomm QM215 processor, and it seems like Antutu doesn't really know how to quite benchmark that processor. That seems to be the case in this situation because that is an extremely low score. And certainly from my experience of using the phone, the actual usability certainly doesn't reflect on that score. It's way more usable than you'd expect it to be, despite having this really low score. Now taking a look at the left side of the phone, we do have just one button here, and it is the Google Google Assistant button. So we do get Google Assistant built into the phone. I don't really see that as much of a benefit, especially when it's very easy to access that feature through the search bar, but it is there for you. On the right side of the device, we have the power button and volume button. And by the way, I'm actually a really big fan of the colors of these buttons. I really like the look of the phone overall. But taking a look at the top of the device, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. And then on the bottom, we have the microphone and we have the micro USB port. Then on the back of the phone, we have the camera module, we have the Nokia logo, and we have the speaker. So it is a rear speaker here with the device. So I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing so far with the Nokia 1.3. Now I know that there are going to be comments in the comments section saying that this phone is trash, it's not a good phone. And yeah, if it was a $200 phone, I would say that too. But considering that it is just $99, GSM unlocked, I think it's pretty decent. Now I will be doing a comparison between this phone and the Nokia 2.3 because those two devices really aren't too far apart in price, so that really should be interesting. But I hope you enjoyed this hands-on and first impressions video about the Nokia 1.3. Definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing of the phone. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Kevin, and I will see you in the next one.